Community Council, and they got grants and did a big job on it, a conservation job. This is about 20 years ago. But there needs to be more done now because the rain has...
And it's obviously a very important part of Killeshandra's history
and
heritage with the amount of people who are buried here. Many people's ancestors would be still buried here.
Yes, and not just for Killeshandra, but for the general... It is the church is a Jacobean church, and there's a beautiful Gothic window on the east side, and the two gate piers are the only intact pair of Jacobean gate piers on the island of Ireland. The people of Killeshandra are buried here, rich and poor, Protestant and Catholic, Methodist, Presbyterian, they're all buried here. And the landlords and the beggars and the tenants, they're all buried here in this graveyard. And the burials were here before there was any split in religion and before the plantations, and sort of it continued sort of absorb everything that came along, so to speak.
Okay, and you were talking earlier about like work that's been done by the local community, and is it by kind of the Heritage Council as well towards kind of renovating it and
Well, it's not so much renovating it as conserving it, just to keep it from collapsing. You know, it would be a big loss if these barrel vaults collapsed, and if they collapsed, well, that was it. It would be relatively inexpensive to save them at this stage. But if there came a big frost like the 2010 frost, it could because there is rain seeping in.
That's great. Thank you very much for that. And Heather, I'm going to ask you, you were talking earlier on today about the different biodiversity in the church. Could you tell us a bit about that?
Yes, it's hard to believe on a day like this because it's wet and, well, it's quite warm, but it's wet and miserable. But if you come in here on a lovely sunny day, it's a lovely little warm, sheltered microclimate, and all the walls and the big flat gravestones are like big absorbent heaters, big storage heaters of heat. So I came in here 2 years ago not expecting very much and discovered that there's a lot of lovely solitary bees' nests all through the grounds, and it was a wee joy to come and find them. And I've been coming back again and identifying what's been here. And there's been general concern in Ireland for decline in the range of pollinators. So we have a thing called the All-Ireland Pollinator Plan, where both sides of the border and all around are encouraged to look after the pollinators. We have 97 species of bee, would you believe it, in Ireland. One is a honeybee. The rest are all wild bees. So it is our duty to look out, because a lot of them are in decline, so it's our duty, each little place, to look after. And this is one of the reasons why the Rath Church is lovely, because it's sheltered, it's warm, we're actually south-facing, and the walls absorb the heat, so I find that the bees really like it.
Earlier on you had a gentleman demonstrating on an Austrian scythe.
Yes.
Could you tell us a bit about that?
Well, Neil Fuchs, who lives over in Leitrim, brought a selection of scythes so he can show us some of the differences. And one of the phrases he used was that he hoped he's not being too patronising, but in Europe, scything is thought of as female work, because they have a lovely light little scythe compared to what the Americans and the Irish and presumably the English have, which is far heavier, big lump of a thing. So it's a lighter work, and he made it look effortless. Now, I have tried it, I can guarantee it's not quite effortless. It is a skill. But I suppose the way he talked about it, definitely you become a believer. This is the way to do things, because he talked about the therapeutic effect. We're just quietly working along, and the healthy, because you're using your body, you're not listening to the buzz of an engine, you're not getting the vibrations up through your body. So he's very convincing anyway. And one of the advantages from my point of view is that if the grass is left to rot into the ground, the flora changes, so you get strong grasses, and the strong grasses outgrow the wildflowers. They're not able to compete, and this wouldn't be a natural thing, because in nature it's either mown by people or originally it was grazing animals, and that's the only reason you had grassland at all, because you had lots of grazing animals. So these strong grasses would have been a lot less common, but nowadays, because we have loads of fertiliser and we don't bother. In those days, Probably somebody came and made a cock of hay and took the grass away in the old days. Every piece of grass was special. We only saw that after the bad years, and suddenly every piece of grass was special, and they were bringing in grass from France and this kind of thing after the bad years. But in the old days, every bit of grass was special, so they all was brought off. But one of the things that Neil explained was with the strimmer, because it's a circular motion, the grass is thrown all over the place. So it's far harder to rake it up and take the stuff away. With a scythe, it falls in nice, neat little rows as you go along, so that the net effect is it's easier to gather and take away, and it's in nice long lengths instead of being double chopped as you go along. It's hard work. Whoever's going to do it, I mean, maintaining a graveyard, and especially because it's a graveyard, you have to be careful with all the gravestones. So it's. But if we're going to make the effort, I think we should make the effort to look after the wildflowers as well and the pollinators.
Yeah, definitely. And the event today, as part of Heritage Week, how did that come about? How did the idea kind of come about? What inspired you to have the event today?
As a community, it's small enough we communities, so technically the Tidy Towns organised it because we're interested in the area, and as part of the Tidy Towns programme, of course, we're interested in biodiversity. But I mean, people can wear several different hats in this community, so that's really how it came about. But I mean, the people that are here, they're part of Tidy Towns, they're part of community council, they're part of all kinds of things that go on. So everybody was involved.
Thanks so much for listening to this week's show. Don't forget to spread the word, and you can find us on Facebook. Just search for Cavan Online Radio. We'd love you to get in touch and share your thoughts about the show. And if you have a community or cultural group with something interesting to share, I'd love to hear all about it. That's all for this week, but don't forget to tune in 2 weeks' time. Playing us out this week is singer and Cork native Lyra with her song Emerald.
Some days we sit in silence, our old hand in my hand. My mind has never felt so full. Our wisdom always fills the air. I kneel and pray for us. The sky